Good morning to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure in inviting you all to the second day of the webinar series of 3 days online international workshop on methods of research in social science and humanity, organized by the Center for Development Economic Studies, Chennai. I am Lakshmi Prada, and I will be the moderator for today's session. I request all the participants connected through Zoom to kindly mute yourself to help us in the smooth conduct of the program. I begin the day with a quote of our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. To gain this knowledge and feel great, without further delay, let's look into the agenda for today's session. We have 2 sessions planned for the second day of the international workshop, where we have Dr. M. Soundarapandyan, Professor and Dean, School of Management Study, Gandhigram Rural Institute, to present on the title Tips for Research Projects Grants in Social Science and Techniques in Writing and Publishing the Research Articles. And followed by him, we have Dr. S. Tirunavukarasu, Chief Editor, Journal of Development Economic Studies, and President, CDES, to deliver on the title Data Analysis, Post-Analysis Procedure, and Research Report Writing. Participants can share their questions using the chat box in both the Zoom and YouTube platform, which will be taken for discussion at the end of each session. I take the opportunity of introducing the first speaker for the day, Dr. M. Soundarapandyan. Dr. M. Soundarapandyan has over 34 years of experience in teaching at PG level and more than 28 years of experience in research. He has completed 20 minor and major research projects with the assistance of UGC, ICSSR, Ministry of Rural Development, AICTE, Bharat Gyan Vidyan Samiti, New Delhi, and State Resource Center for Non-Formal Education, Chennai. He has guided 29 PhD candidates and 68 MPhil candidates so far, and has also served as a mentor for 1 postdoctoral fellowship candidate. He has published 33 books with ISBN and 148 articles in various international and national journals with more than 200 papers presented in various seminars and conferences across the world. He has visited countries like Malaysia, South Africa, Thailand, UAE, Indonesia, Bangladesh, UK, and other places for presenting papers in the international conferences. In addition to teaching and research experiences, he has served in many administrative positions such as Director, Directorate of Distance and Continuing Education, Manonmaniam Sundaranath University, Head of the Department, Director of Center for Entrepreneurship Development, Controller of Examination in Charge, UGC COP Course Coordinator, NSS Program Officer, Project Director, etc. As an extension activity, he conducted entrepreneurship development training programs at tsunami-affected areas with the international funding assistance of ILO, American India Foundation, UN Development Program, etc. He served as national level mentor for special monitoring program of Ministry of Rural Development, New Delhi. For his credit, he has organized 21 seminars, workshops, and refresher courses for college teachers. He received the Young Economist Award, Bharat Jyoti Award, Senior Economist Award, and Eminent Educationist Award for his academic achievement. We are really happy to have you amongst us, sir, today. May I now request Dr. Soundarapandyan to take over the session on tips for research projects in social science and techniques in writing and publishing the research articles. Please, sir.
Good morning to everyone. First of all, I thank the organizer, Dr. S. Tirunavukarasu, and his team, the Somas and his daughter Lada, for their wonderful organizing the international level webinar. This is the second international webinar organized by Dr. S. Tirunavukarasu. Really, I am very much thankful to my good friend Dr. S. Tirunavukarasu for giving opportunity to deliver the guest lecture in this program. In this session, I have to talk on two themes. One is tips for research projects, grants in social sciences, and techniques in writing and publishing the research activities. Within 1 hour, we have to complete these two lecture themes, and we can have some discussion at the end of the lecture. The moderator already highlighted my resume at a very nutshell. It is so based on my research experience, I accepted to deliver the theme on the tips for research project grants and fellowship assistance. Actually, it's a very difficult task. Nowadays, every researchers, teachers, research scholars, getting grants is very difficult task. I know very well about the getting financial assistance for conducting the research project. I served 11 years in a college, and then I joined here Gandhigram Rural Institute. I know the difficulties as a teacher in colleges and as a professor in a university. Both of them are getting facing difficulties in getting grants. So I would like to share few ideas in this lecture program about the getting. So I am presenting here in 9 subheadings. First, types of research. Even though it is already taught by some other eminent persons, I would like to a brief introduction. Second, the identified research areas in social sciences, research project assistance, sources of funding, procedures in preparation of the project proposal, format of the project proposal, presentation and follow-up, utilization of funds, publication of reports. The types of research in social sciences here, 5 types. First, here the qualitative research. Qualitative research deals with the phenomena that are difficult or impossible to quantify mathematically, such as that is some of the qualitative aspects. For example, knowledge, attitude, and practice. Now I am conducting on a project with the assistance of my Ministry of HRD, a KAP study on the online learning in management education. The knowledge, attitude, practice. So the qualitative aspects, knowledge, how the level, awareness level or knowledge level, we have to measure. So this type of research is called as the qualitative research. And the quantitative research, that is, it is a systematic empirical investigation of any phenomena, that is statistically or mathematically or the computational with computational techniques. For example, the many studies, we are conducting in social sciences, the unemployment level, poverty level, and the income and the earnings. Many quantitative aspects we can analyze by the quantitative research. The Third one is applied research. The applied research is very in social sciences. The scientific study to solve some practical problems or some development innovative technology. Now, the COVID and other aspects that we apply here the issue COVID-19, we apply the same into some other aspects, the various employment, poverty, or some other higher education, etc. So the application, that is applied research. The fourth one is pure and fundamental, or the basic research, the various the concepts developed. For example, the many eminent persons did the research on the concept of poverty. From the first itself, we are having many types of analysis research on the same concept, poverty. So this is the another type. Some other types, various the descriptive research, ethnographic research, exploratory research, historical research, and phenomenal research, etc. So here some of the highlights on the types of research, and then the identified research areas in social sciences. It is from my knowledge level, some of the areas identified. The one is economic analysis. The economic analysis, problems and management, case studies, impact studies, role of institutions, schemes, socio-economic conditions, rural entrepreneurship, women studies, etc. The economic analysis. In our department, I am working in the Department of Rural Industries and Management. It is an interdisciplinary department. In our department, we have the economics, commerce, and management faculties. And we are also guiding the students for the economics, management, and commerce students for getting PhD degree. Here, the economic analysis, for the economic students, we are specifically highlighting the theme on the economic analysis, that is the cost benefit or the economic status. These are some of the such type of studies, economic analysis. And the second one is problems. The problems, the study on labor problems in feed industry in Tirunelveli district, the health problems, and the problems nowadays, recently, the problems of the informal sector workers, the many problems not only in environment, not only the health and environment, and some other problem-related issues in the social sciences. Third one is management, the study on human resource management, marketing management, financial management, operation management, and we can, as per our specialization, we can select the theme on the management areas. Fourth one is the case studies. Case studies, many a case study of the puppies knitting export company, Tirupur, or a case study of a particular self-help groups, or a cooperative society, or a case study in a particular bank, or any other companies, a case study in a particular company, such type of studies. The research, this is one of the research area. And the impact studies is a very important thing. Is I conducted 21 research projects with the assistance of various funding agencies, UGC, ICSR, AICT, etc. Mainly, my research is focusing on the impact of the studies. whenever the themes, the emerging themes, now the COVID, previously we have the new economic policy, and in between these two, the fiscal crisis, the financial global financial crisis, etc. And such type of issues, what are the impact of the new economic policy on small scale industries, impact of Panchayat Raj institutions, uh, uh, some other, now at present we have the impact of the COVID-19 on the Indian economy, etc. So such type of studies, this is another research area. The economic reforms, agricultural growth in India, the impact of the HR practices towards the knowledge management, etc. Such type of impact studies. And another one is role studies. The role of bank, role of district industry center, or role of NABARD, or role of Panchayat Raj institutions, or role of cooperative societies, or any other a scheme, particular scheme, a role of the MG, NREGA on rural development, etc. And such a area, this is one of the research area. And socio-economic studies. Traditionally, in economics, we have previously the socio-economic studies, traditional topic, socio-economic studies of the any type of workers, tribals, women's, or a particular group of people in a particular area. So the socio-economic studies, the social and economic status has been analyzed in such studies. Another area-wise studies, the various areas, regions, now the COVID-19 in the global level, in the ASEAN level, ASEAN countries level, in India, in Tamil Nadu, or in a particular district. Some such studies, that is the various topics, the same, only the district has been changed. The impact of the IRDB or NREB, whatever the schemes on the Tiruchirappalli district, or the Chennai district, or Kanchipuram district, or the southern region, or northern region, northeast region. So such type of area-wise studies. And the women's studies, many women's studies focusing the women's sector is another important research area, women's studies. The education of the girls in Jammu Kashmir, gender gap in higher education, a study of the Muslims in the particular district of the Haryana, etc. This type of research areas identified in our social sciences. The another thing is, the next thing is assistance for research projects. Usually, we have the research assistants, minor research project, major research projects, and action research. The minor research projects, that is based on the fund. It depends upon the amount of funds. It previously within 5 lakhs, or nowadays it has been increased to up to 10 lakhs, etc. If it is major research projects, it will be, the fund will be higher than the minor research projects, more than 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, etc. in social sciences. But it is in the science category, they are getting the more funds in at least 1 crore. So the action research, that is a continuous process in our economics. setting up the self-help groups and forming the self-help groups and giving training to the self-help groups and getting grants for starting the micro enterprises, and they will become the entrepreneur. So such type of research is called as the action research. So the grants are usually issued by the various funding agencies for these three major headings. And the sources of fundings, I have given some of the sources. Nowadays, various new schemes are also implemented, even though the world level, there are some of the project funding agencies, IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, UNDP, United Nations Development Program, Ford Foundation, UNESCO, ILO, South Asian and Indo-Canadian Fellowship, Indo-Sastri Fellowship, UGC Cultural Exchange Program. These are all at the global level funding agencies. And at national level, India level, we are having the main source, UGC, ICSSR, and the ministries. Each and every ministry in our national level, they have a separate fund for research projects. Planning Commission, now it is called as the Nidhi Aayog. National Literacy Mission, the NLM, National Institute of Educational Planning, and now it is called as the university. The National Institute of Public Finance and Policy, CAPAT, Council for the CAPAT, it is in the regional office at Hyderabad. AICT, All India Council for Technical Education. KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, NABARD, etc. These are some of the funding agencies at the national level. And the state and regional level, some of the fund grants assistance. In our country, the southern region, UGC, we have at Hyderabad, we are getting grants for the projects, minor projects. Tamil Nadu State Council, the State Development Council, previously it is called as the Planning Commission. Now it is Tamil Nadu State Development Council, Department of Rural Development, where each and every department we have the project at the state level, and the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, ministries, each and every ministry, they have some fund for the research projects. District level, DRDA, District Rural Development Agency, Magalir Thitam, and the Family Planning Association of India. At present, we have the Switch Bharat. So these are the various sources of getting grants. And the next one is outline of the research project proposal. This very important thing is our the procedure in preparing the research proposal. It is various researchers are not able to formulate a research project. They depend on others. Sometimes they get the project proposal by paying some amount of money nowadays. So this is the procedure. I am giving some guideline about the preparation of the project proposal. First one is theme of the research. This is a very important thing is, you know very well about the research. In PhD also, the first thing is selection of the guide, and the second one is selection of the topic. When you select the suitable theme, you will get the degree. Similarly, in the research, if you select the suitable theme, it is very easy to get the grants. I got many projects. Every time our friends ask me, how do you get the grant? You have some other influence in Delhi. You have some other any other commission for getting the grants. Some friends asked me frequently, but it is not correct. I told the theme, if it is a issue based theme, they will give grant because releasing grants is not the easy. Very various at various levels, the proposal is scrutinized. It is scrutinized by the various levels. When you submit the research project proposal to the funding agency, they have the expert committee, and first they scrutinize the proposal, and they called for the interview, and at the time of presentation, they know whether the proposal is prepared by you or not. So such type of screening levels, so it is not easy to get the grants. The very important thing is theme of the research, that is issue-based research. From my own experience, I got the research grants from 1987 itself. I joined as a lecturer in 1985, and I got the research assistance project, minor project, from the year 1987 before getting PhD degree. I got PhD degree in only 1990, but before getting PhD degree, I got the minor projects from the UGC and the ICSSR. Because the theme of the research, the issue-based research. I have conducted the major projects with assistance of the ICSSR based on the new economic policy, economic reforms. At the time of implementation of new economic policy, it is one of the issue. And after that, global financial crisis. Now the thing is the COVID-19. Now recently the ICSR called a special proposal for conducting research on the COVID-19. So this type of issue-based research, we must select the theme. It must be issue-based, or some other traditional topics, as I told you about the socio-economic status, or some other impact of the various programs, IRDP, NREP, MG, NRG, etc. Some other traditional topics. But even though you have to select the theme which is issue based, it must give some solutions. It must give some suggestions for the policymakers. So this is very important step in the project proposal. Second one is a statement of the problem. As a researcher, you know what is statement of the problem. So in this workshop also our friends, the experts also discussed about the statement of the problem. It is the justification. Why do you select the theme? What is the reason? What are the importance? So this is the statement of the problem. It must be very important. And another thing is review of literature. Review of literature is you have to collect some past studies, and then from the past studies you have to derive the research gap. So based on the research gap and the present study, your proposal will fulfill the gap, the research gap. So for the purpose of review of literature is to identify the research gap. The another one is another step, objectives of the proposed study. You must give the objectives, 4 or 5 objectives, based on the theme of the research. If the title, you give the title, the impact of economic reforms on the public distribution system. So you have to give the clear objectives about the theme, uh, 4 or 5 objectives, which is mainly focusing the theme of the research. So the another thing is hypothesis to be tested. You have to give the hypothetical statement based on the objectives of the study. Suppose if you select the 4 or 5 objectives, based on the objectives, you have to frame the hypothesis to be tested. And the concept to be used are the key words about your research. You have to give some of the concepts, various definitions for example, informal economy. The informal economy, various eminent people define the concept. How your study focusing on the specific definition. So that is the concepts used in the study. And so the for example, the MSME now it is the definition has been changed by the government of India. Previously, some other definitions, and the your study cover which definition. That is a very important thing is, and another step in the preparation of the project proposal. That is research design. That is methodology. Methodology. Uh, now we have some experience in this 3 days workshop. We thank our Trinav Garas for giving this the wonderful lecture on this part, research design, methodology part. The types of data, primary data and the secondary data. Our study focus are will be used the secondary, whether the secondary data or primary data, and we must give the specific study area. And then suppose the leather tannery workers in Tindigal district, the study. Why do you select the Tindigal district? So we have to give the justification for selection of the study area. I am belonging to the Tindigal district, so I select that theme. It is not correct. We have to give the justification for selecting the study area. And then various major variables. We have to identify the various variables for the data collection. That is you have to give some of the variables, factors, and the design of the study, that is in the statistical design schedules questionnaire. Whether you are going to use the schedule, the entry schedule or the questionnaire. You must know clear the difference between the schedule and the questionnaire. Finally, the justification of the selection for each and every study area, sample respondent, the sampling techniques, and the various tools used to be used in your study. These are all covered under the methodology part, research design. So you must be very clear on these parts. And the chapter plan, you must give a proposed plan of your project report, which contains 5 chapters. For example, introduction, review of literature, the study profile of the study area, secondary data analysis, primary data analysis, and finally the summary of the findings and the conclusion. Such type of chapterization you have to give. And the project duration is a very important thing is project duration. You have to give the time budget. If it is the project for 2 years, 24 months, you have to classify the time budget, the preparatory work, including selection of the staff and their training for 2 months. After getting the project, you have to allocate 1 or 2 months for the preparatory work. and 5 months for the collection of the review of literature. So our social sciences, the main important thing is we have to collect the review of literature, the past studies from various thing, and it will take 5 months. And preparation of the questionnaire and the schedule or the collection of the secondary data, it will be 1 or 2 months. Pilot study 1 month. Data collection, that is the 5 months field work, data collection, data processing 4 months, data analysis and interpretation 2 months, report writing 2 months. Yeah, total duration 24 months. You have to give the time budget and staffing pattern. In our project, we have the staffing pattern. In the budget, you have to give the staffing patterns. That is the director, project director, field investigator, research assistant, research associate, and the clerical staff. So these are the some of the staffing pattern we have to give, and whether these staff are required, necessary. You have to give the justification for the requirement of the staff for the project. The budget, proposed budget. Here I am giving some one example for the 40 lakhs project. It's a very huge amount in social sciences. But nowadays, even the minor project, they are getting up to 10 lakhs from the UGC. But the 40 lakhs is the major research projects. I have given the various heads first the staffing patterns, the salary to the staff. Project director, usually project director is the honorary director. Here, some funding agencies are giving some honorary or the salary to the project director. For example, 20,000 rupees for the period of 2 months. And the research assistants, we required the research assistant uh, at the rate of nowadays it is fixed by the each and every funding agencies. They have their own pattern, staffing pattern, and 26,000 per month, 24 months, two research assistant, field staff, that is field level workers. Field level workers is for collecting the data, primary as well as secondary data, and secretarial staff, the computer typing or some other secretarial work. We need a assistant, 15,000 rupees at the rate of for the 24 months. It is a huge sum of amount is allocated for the staffing. Out of 40 lakhs, we are giving 31 lakhs nearly for the project staff. Travel expenses, 1 lakh 12,000. Data processing, including computation, computer work, 75,000. Stationery printing, photography, postage is 75,000. Books and journals, 1 lakh 25,000. Equipments, usually in our social science, we are not having any equipments allotment, even though some funding agencies are providing fund for the computer or some other equipments, uh, and the contingencies for some items 1 lakh. Overhead and institute charges. Usually, each and every institute they have a percentage of institute charge. Suppose I got 10 lakh rupees project, I have to give at least 10% to our institute. That is institute charge. Overhead are the institute charge. Some institutes are offering 5%, or some of the colleges they are not having any institute charges. So the budget head is very important. Another step. The next one is format for submission of the project proposal. Usually, the each and every funding agency, they have their own format for submission of the project proposal. But suppose if it is not given, it is not available in the project format, we can use these type of project format. First one is general, the name of the principal investigator, name of the institution, the position of the project director, designation or position of the project director, educational qualification. And second heading, proposed study. The proposal study, that is the, we already discussed about the various things, title of the project, period of the study, financial requirements, and the synopsis of the proposed study, the one abstract as well as the synopsis. The synopsis consists of the introduction, title, introduction, statement of the problem, objectives, methodology, concepts, chapterization, etc. So these the proposal, the synopsis of the proposal study, and biodata of the project director, and profile of the institute is very important because the funds are released depends upon the institutes. They are not giving, the 12B grant. Each and every college or institute, if you want to get assistance from the UGC, you must have the 12B the status. Or similarly, nowadays the NIRF rank or NAC accreditation, etc. So profile of the institute is very important thing, and the certificate of the forwarding institution. The institute must forward. I am forwarding the proposal for to the and the institute agrees to administer and manage its finance, provide accommodation and other facilities required for the project, and the proposal has not been submitted to any other agency for funding purposes. So the format can be used for applying the project grants. And the presentation and follow-up activities is the after submitting the project proposal. Usually nowadays the funding agencies ask us to present the proposal directly in the office, UGC office or ICSR. Last 6 months back, I also presented a major project I submitted earlier, and they called for the interview during the December 2019, and I submitted the presentation by video conference, because the funding agencies are nowadays is using the video conferencing in order to avoid the TIDA expenses. So presentation, we have to give the presentation. It's a very important thing is because I got the fund from the ILO, International Labour Organization. I presented the proposal at the Chennai office directly, and 6 NGOs are getting grants. Along with the 6 NGOs, I am the only agency, that is college, university, getting grants from the ILO, and I conducted the action research, that is the EDP training program after tsunami in Kanyakumari district. So I know very well the presentation must be, it must impress the experts. Otherwise, it is very difficult to get the grants. And the follow-up activities, the verifying the nowadays it is released, it is published in the website. We have to get the information from the website. Or sometimes, suppose you submit a proposal to UGC, you must have some contact with the UGC. Suppose a person is going to Delhi from your college or university, you can give your proposal and you get some information from the UGC, because nowadays it is all are computerized. Previously, the system is not computerized. We faced a lot of difficulty because we sent the proposal, but it is not available in the office. So such type of things. So we must have some follow-up activities about the project proposal. And after getting funds, you have to give the progress report, 6 months progress report, quarterly progress report, annual report. Some of the address I have given, funding agencies address you can get from our Dr. Tinavkar regarding the contact address of the funding agency, South Asian Network of Economic Research and Institute, UGC, Austrian Fellowship, and Association of Commonwealth Universities, Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute, Social Science Research Council, South Asia Regional Fellowship, South Asia Regional Fellowship, the and UNICEF, University of Pennsylvania, KK Birla Foundation, ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, AICT, Ministry of Environment, etc. So these are some of the funding agencies. You can get the fund by submitting the proposal. I think that's all about the tips for getting the grants. And the next topic is publication of the research article. Because previously we have faced many difficulties in publishing the research articles, because at the time there is no computer facilities. And now we have the computer facilities. We are sending the articles through mail, and we are getting a reply through mail and e-journals. So even though I would like to highlight some of the, from very much difficulties, I have published more than 180 articles in various journals, uh, national, international level journals, and also uh, I have published 33 books with ISBN. So based on the my experience, I am sharing here some of the points regarding the publication. Here, sources of publication. We can publish the article in the edited books. Suppose our Dr. Tinnavar's edit a book on the COVID-19. We can send the article. He will publish with the ISBN number the edited books, the such type of edited books, and journals. Journals nowadays we have the e-journals, and conference and seminar proceedings. Suppose you submit the article paper in the seminar conference, it will be published as the conference proceedings. And the occasional paper, working paper, if you go through the Planning and Mission website, or IMF, World Bank, or NABARD, or any other website, you can see the working papers or the occasional papers. I have already completed and published 2 occasional papers from the NABARD. NABARD, I have published 2 occasional papers. I got the 50,000 rupees for each and every paper from the NABARD. So such type of a special theme, they give a special theme. You have to write the uh, whole paper, and they will publish as the working paper or the occasional paper. And the reports we can, the evaluation study reports uh, assigned by the government, the district rural development agency, etc. And other published source of publication, that is private circulation. Some of uh, uh, the institutions, they are having the private circulation. And it's a very important thing is format of the articles. I am the I am the chief editor, executive editor of the Gandhigram Rural Institute. We have published a Journal of Extension and Research. I am receiving many articles, and also I conducted a 20 seminar conference. When I go through the various papers submitted by the various scholars, I am very much worried about the style of the paper. Only nowadays we have the system cutting and pasting. Even they are not change the format also, but it is not good for our research field. You must follow this format. If it is an article, it must be in this format. Myself and Dr. Thinnagarasu studied in the Annamalai University MPhil degree in the Department of Economics. We know the various the expert they are properly given the how to write the article. You go through the Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics, Indian Economic Journals, or Indian Journal of the Labor Economics, or Economic and Political Weekly. So some of the Journal of Rural Development, you can see the such format. It's a very important thing is the format. First is the title of the article, introduction. Introduction itself about the theme and also statement of the problem, objectives. We must give the introductory part. You have to give the statement of the problem and objectives. Why your study? Why you are focusing on the particular theme? And then review of literature. So review. When you write an article, you must review the past studies. You must give the brief about the past studies, review of literature. And then concepts, some keywords, concepts used in your research. And methods and materials, the methodology used, number of using the secondary data, primary data, number of samples, and type of data collection, and use of the statistical tools. So methodological part. And another heading, results and discussion. That is the finding. You can give the inferences, data and inferences, secondary data, analysis, inferences, and interpretation. So it's a very important thing. Suppose if you give data, secondary data, you have to give the inferences, interpretation. From the above data, what are the it increases or decreases, and the inferences. Why there is an increase? Why there is an decrease? That is the important thing is results and discussions. And another heading, the problems and suggestions. If any problems or any suggestions in social science articles, this is the format. And finally, concluding remarks. And next is notes. Suppose in your the format of the paper, in between there are some explanation. You need some explanation. You can give number one. At the end of the article, you give the notes about that, and references. You can refer many books, journals, articles, e-journals, or some other websites. Even though you can give the selected references. So this is the very important thing is the format of the articles for publication. the style of the article. Style of the article, that is A4 size paper, typing, Roman times, New Times Roman, font size 10 to 14, minimum 10 pages to 20 pages, double space. It depends upon the publisher. And references. References, you must format, that is the author, title of the article, journal name. It is a separate thing. You must give a clear reference. And is very important thing is, after writing or preparing the article, how do you publish? Where do we publish? We must analyze the suitability of the theme and the content. If you go through one journal, the each and every journal has their own view. Suppose, for example, EPW, the Marxist view, you can write the view, Marxist view, they can publish in the Economic and Political Weekly. Some other journals, the government journals, Kurukshetra, Yojana, Khadi Gram Yog, they are the government publications. They want their own view, that is positive message. So suitability of the theme for publication is a very important thing. Is you have to identify the suitability of the theme, and you must have some reference, past reference. That is, previously you submit a paper, they want some more comments. Based on that, you can submit the paper. Some publication by invitation. Suppose now our journal editor, Dr. Tirunavakaras, issued a communication about the article based on the COVID-19 and economics. So such type of invitation, you can submit the paper. And trial and error. Previously, we sent the typed article to one publisher. After 3 months, the same article written by post. And we have to make some corrections. So such type of trial and error. Nowadays, you have to select the source of the journal based on the Scopus index, Google Scholar index paper, the impact factor, UGC listed journals, referred journals, reviewed journals, etc. So the selection of the source, the submission of the papers and follow up. So we have to submit the paper, and what about the publication, when it will be published, and you have to give the covering letter and the certificate. The nowadays the plagiarism certificate also needed for publication. And some of the journals, selected journals, I have given the list of journals: Indian Management, Indian Journal of Marketing, Tamil Nadu Journal of Corporation, the Cooperator, Indian Journal of Economics and Business, and Sarvodaya, Journal of Extension and Research, the Indian Journal of Labor Economics, Review of Development and Change, Trade Concept, Southern Economist, and Financing Agriculture, Kurukshetra, Yojana, Khadi Gram, Intensive Agriculture, Ishan World, Indian Journal of Agricultural Economics, Journal of Rural Development, Economic and Political Weekly, Indian Journal of Industrial Relations, the Indian Journal of Public Administration, the Indian Economic Journal, Economic Affairs. So these are the main journals you can publish. Nowadays, you can publish the articles by paying amount. But if it is a UGC listed or peer reviewed or referred journal, you can publish the articles. So these are the things I want to share with you. I thank the organizers for giving this opportunity. Now, if any questions, we will discuss. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the exemplary presentation, sir. I'm sure the audience would have clearly understood the research project grants and their funding, and also the tips on writing and publishing the research articles. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you very much. I must thank you.